Don't need to be a social scientist to know that there is zero evidence of any racial motivation for what Daniel Penny did. So people who are trying to infer it, that somehow, as the founder of BLM in New York says, if you think he's innocent, you're a racist, and the KKK just got another victory. I'm not a social scientist, but I know that's horse.
Okay, let me use it. It's clear that you don't understand what implicit bias is, so let me just use a different word, with all due respect.
Hat on.
If you just let me finish the sentence, I promise you'll hear me. What I'm saying is that I have no reason to believe that he was motivated by race or that he was not motivated by race. But the idea that someone could be motivated by race is not outside of the realm of possibility based on ample data that shows that people are more likely to use force against black people, that they tend to believe that black bodies are stronger and more physically resilient, and therefore they think they have to hold them in chokeholds longer.
Is there a glimmer of hope on the horizon that people can actually get justice in New York City? After all, they are basically a dystopian nightmare. What they've done is give criminals carte blanche to do whatever they want. No cash bail means there's a revolving door for criminals who commit crimes, get arrested, and then are right back out on the street to commit crimes again within the hour. And of course, if you as a citizen feel unsafe by this system, if you try to stand up and defend yourself or your fellow citizens, then you are the one who gets arrested and prosecuted, because that is Alvin Bragg's New York. However, as the people of New York just proved with the Daniel Penny outcome, that yes, they are sick and tired of the crime as well. But of course, the usual race grifters are out there trying to sell the same garbage that apparently America has moved on from. So before we get into these clips, please like and comment on this video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
So do you not blame Jordan Neely at all? I mean, for what he did? He deserves no blame from your perspective, right?
Did you hear the witness testimony?
I'm asking you a question. Or are you
cherry-picking the ones?
I'm asking you a question. Do you blame Jordan Neely at all for his conduct?
If Jordan Neely was a white man, we'd be saying it was an opioid crisis. He was hungry. He was mentally ill. He had a muffin in his pocket.
I wouldn't be if there were other. What about the witnesses? Let's play again, just so we're clear on the race.
Play Eddie Gibson, who begged Daniel Neely to stop.
Oh, yeah, but he stayed there throughout the incident.
Play the ones that fit the narrative.
But the ultimate question is, why did the jury acquit? Is it because they're racists?
America is inherently biased.
So the jury is racist.
Have you seen?
I'm asking you a question. No, don't change the subject. Is it because the jury is racist?
Yes.
Okay.
The jurors.
Even the black person on the jury.
Would you like to hear something from me? I believe that even black people can be anti-black. People are predeceived to see black people as a threat and as a victim, because people called in. You heard the voice recordings when they called 911. Jordan Neely was in a chokehold for over 4 minutes, turning purple, which black people do in fact do that, and people still saw him as a harm. Even when his body went limp, he was still viewed as a criminal. So I'm sorry if I'm going to defend the needy, if I'm going to defend the poor. Why does no one talk about when Jordan Neely came on asking for water and being thirsty? Why does no one talk about...
Because that's not what happened right here. What happened right here, the reason he was held was not because he was asking for water. It's because he was scaring the heck out of everyone on the subway, which apparently he's done before.
Dan, anyone who has rode the New York City subway has encountered mentally ill people. Why are we not having this conversation? And we don't kill them.
But you know what?
We offer help or we get out of the way.
But more people wish people would step up more and help and stop people from doing it.
So are you giving a license to vigilantism? Are you saying that we should kill people? Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is, you know what I'm saying is it's very unfortunate. I think Daniel Penny would say it is really unfortunate that he died.
Why didn't he care when he was at the precinct? He showed no remorse.
Because he was defending what he did.
He lied in that defense, too. Do you know he told people, he told the police, who people love, that people respect the police's opinion, right? People respect what they do. People respect that honor. He lied in the 5th precinct. How can anything he do, can we just stop calling him a hero? Can we do that?
No, I can't. I actually do view what he did as heroic.
So that's Shavonna Newsom, co-founder of BLM Greater New York, okay? And what she basically saying, yes, America is inherently a racist country. And as a matter of fact, the jury that acquitted Daniel Penny is also racist. And the black man on the jury, he's one of those self-hating black people who just simply wants to be safe on the subway. And of course, that's the crux of all of this. More people feel that this was justified because the people of New York City are exposed to mental illness, drug addicts, sometimes both, yourself, like in this case with Jordan Neely, every single day. And they're tired of it. They're fed up with it. They want the police to intervene. They want to be kept safe. But of course, as we mentioned, it's a revolving door. So a lot of this stuff is simply just swept under the rug. And by the way, the police, when they showed up on the scene, they're like, hey, we're not going to give this guy mouth to mouth because clearly he's a drug addict. He's filthy, and we don't want our officers to get hepatitis. So they, of course, waited for the paramedics to arrive. And during this entire time, Jordan Neely was actually alive, as confirmed by the police. So I'm sure that went a long way into the jury actually acquitting Daniel Penny, who, yes, by the way, I do consider to be a hero for standing up and defending all of these people on the subway. But the main thing I want to focus on here is notice how much power BLM has lost, right? It turns out that burning down cities and causing billions of dollars worth of destruction is not a way to endear people to your cause. That and backing a bunch of race hoaxes all around the nation is not a way to really garner support among the public. However, what I really want to focus on here is just understanding that people have moved on from BLM. People no longer care about all of this garbage, right? We would much rather get along and see what we have in common. And with the election of Donald Trump, of course, that brings all of that into the forefront, as we're going to see here in this clip from Megyn Kelly.
Thank God Daniel Penny has been found not guilty. Thank God. Thank God. I think all of us are feeling the same thing. Thank God. And how on earth was he charged in the first place? Right? And we are going to dissect those two questions. Well, thank God is something we're thinking about a lot these days. I think since November 5th, a lot of us have been saying that many, many times. Things are about to change in America for the good, in the world for the good. Per Matthew Russell, who's with Inner City Press, he was inside the courtroom when the verdict was read. He reports that applause rang out from Daniel Penny's side in the courtroom. Meanwhile, someone over on Neely's side, he's sort of describing him as the victim. He wasn't the victim. He was the aggressor. He was the criminal on that subway car that day who was seriously threatening other passengers. He had a long history of hurting them. And somebody on his side yelled out in the courtroom, "It's a racist country. Hello, madam or sir, that's not working anymore. You're going to have to find a new line." I don't know what it's going to be, but the BLM era is officially over. It's over. You had us in some sort of weird, psychotic headspin for 4 or 5 years, and it's done. Trump's reelected, and Daniel Penny is acquitted in one of the most leftist jurisdictions in America, despite the fact that he is white and Jordan Neely was black. And they're still yelling, "It's a racist country, you fools. You absolute fools." And by the way, it's not just someone over on Jordan Neely's side. We had news coming into today that the outgoing chair of the DNC said his party is insane if they think the message of this election was to rethink identity politics. Double down, sir. Triple down. Quadruple. Do it. Enjoy oblivion. Enjoy your desert island where you have no one applauding anything you say and certainly no one voting for you. I look forward to watching you there. CNN reports that Neely's father also had to be escorted from the courtroom after shouting an expletive. Where was he? Where was he when Jordan Neely had dozens of arrests over the years? When he was punching 67-year-old women in the face? Where was the grieving dad then? I'm not sure. Now he's suing Daniel Penny. Oh, okay. You're going to get your money. Now you're totally behind your son. I don't feel sorry for you. I don't. Sorry, I don't. Meantime, the Associated Press did what that vile organization always does. Sent out a breaking news tweet on the verdict that read, "Breaking. Daniel Penny, the veteran who used a chokehold on subway rider Jordan Neely, has been acquitted in Neely's death." Yes. Neely, who went on the train and, was just singing and dancing in his Michael Jackson routine. Is that what he was doing, AP? Or was there more than that? He actually was shouting out at the commuters, "Someone's going to die today." He was on K2, some hugely intensive drug. There was testimony that the drugs could have been the cause of his death. That's how cracked up he was. And he's just a regular subway rider. Mean, terrible, racist Jordan Neely, for some unknown reason, put him in a chokehold and died and killed him.
Yes, it does in fact feel that America has moved on from the BLM movement. I mean, after all of the support they had. Imagine you gave $100, $1,000 of your hard-earned money to this organization, and then it turns out, oh, it was all embezzled to buy people property and houses, right? It all went to paychecks to folks, and not really $1 was ever spent to actually defend black people who may in fact be falsely charged or falsely imprisoned or anything like that. Oh, but where did all your money actually go? Not towards any of that, okay? So people are done. It's over. They have lost all of their power as an organization, especially when they choose to back people who are actually guilty of crimes. Jordan Neely was threatening to kill people on that train, which is why Daniel Penny stepped in, all right? But this is all over. It's done. But of course, the mainstream media, as was mentioned there, the Associated Press, Daniel Penny was just a simple subway rider. Yeah, not a dangerous individual who was whacked out of his mind, screaming loudly at the passengers, who, by the way, has a long history, over 40 arrests, including kidnapping a 7-year-old girl, okay? So all of this stuff shows that, yes, this was the wrong horse to back, but BLM is going to come out and try to do the same thing they always do, which, of course, is grift, race hustle, raise money, etc., right? None of which is good and none of which actually makes positive change in any way whatsoever. But, of course, people on the left have real trouble telling the difference between heroes and villains.
I want to bring in the politics of this because when I hear lawmakers hailing Penny as a hero, as a good Samaritan, really being promoted, can you help me understand the thinking? We started at the top of the show talking about the killer of the United Healthcare CEO being hailed in similar terms.
Yeah, let me just help you understand. If you're on the American left tonight, here's my chart. The good guys today, Daniel Penny. The bad guys, Luigi Mangione. It seems to me.
How do you?
Everybody
what's
on the
the
left,
chart for victims?
I'm just telling you what I see out in the world.
I know.
What
I just want you to finish the
today,
chart. Which victim is good and which victim is bad.
What I'm telling you is
that's not on the second page.
People on the left can't seem to tell the difference between the good guys and the bad guys.
People on the left. I'm asking you whether you consider this person.
We had people praising
I want
Luigi
to know
and
whether you
Penny.
think that, as Congressman Crane does, that Daniel Penny should get the Congressional Gold Medal to recognize his heroism. I'm not asking you about anyone else.
I think he ought to get medal. I think they ought to build a statue to this guy in New York City.
I think that race, and I'm going to say it. I'm going to say the dreaded R word. Race plays a role in this, right? And so we see it. Yes, absolutely, because statistics say that.
Wasn't there a similar case in New York City at the same time this one was going on?
That when people kill people who are white, they tend to get harsher sentences, especially if they're people of color.
What about the Jordan Williams case?
That is what happens in our criminal justice system.
First of all,
no, I'm not going to stop because race absolutely plays a role in this.
I said, what about the Jordan Williams case here in New York? Same situation, African-American, gets on a subway, ends up killing a guy, grand jury tosses it out at the exact same time as the Penny case.
So, of course, to the left, everything is based on race. And even though Scott Jennings brings up an example where this is basically the exact same situation, just the races are swapped, right? That doesn't mean anything. And, of course, the left has been just harrowing after the murder of the healthcare CEO. I don't really want to get into that because that's not the purpose of this video. But they're basically out there applauding this guy for murder, whereas Daniel Penny, since it was to protect his fellow citizens, he obviously is the villain. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay safe out there, people, because they're coming after you.